Yo, what is up, everyone? It is your boy Shazman21. Hold on. Gotta close the door quick. Don't want my parents coming in being like, yo, shut the fuck up. I'm trying to sleep here. But anyways, yo, what's up, everyone? It is your boy Shazman21. Welcome to another video by your boy Shazman21. Alright, so a lot has kind of changed a little bit, besides having a nose piercing. I will say, like, briefly real quick, with that story, I'm just gonna say just like how I got it. I just went to a mall with my bestie, and then I ended up getting a nose ring, and I've had it for the past couple of days, and it's healing all right. Yeah, it's not like causing me like a lot of like, too much of a pain in the ass. But I remember initially, and then like the aftermath, and then the day after the aftermath, it was painful as hell, boy. So yeah, I know I've been like a bit. Oh, I would say like well, MIA, but I would say I just been just kind of just off the grid, off the internet for a bit, just living my life and stuff as per usual. But yeah, just coding and stuff, which I ain't gonna lie, that's been kicking my ass. But I'm enjoying it. I'll get better at it, and eventually, with all that skills, hey, who knows? I might probably cultivate a lot when it comes to how to do some fun stuff with coding. But for now, we're just gonna just like take our time with that. But yeah. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started in the title of this video, which I think it's going to be called, either it's going to be body, mind, spirit thing. Basically, this like mentality that I want to like, talk about, and because I've more or less have been cultivating this mentality, and now it's like more like reinterpreted and more like refined. There we go. It's more refined as now I'm at the age of 25, so it's a little bit different, but yeah. So yes, in Coco scientific term, it's the body, mind, soul, and spirit like working in unison and unity to like work on a specific task at hand, whether that's just like move your arm around up here and down here, some shit like that. But it's something like that, but more just the mentality of having a certain mindset of being player one. So no, it's not the whole like, oh, you're like the main character. I mean, maybe, yeah, like we're all main characters in our own story pretty much. But what I mean by that is player one mentality, as in just yes, it is of mind, of body, of spirit, and soul working in unison. And I think just by the whole player one mindset, we take the concept of all that, but apply that to something like controllers that we have. Like, for example, real quick, let me get my controller real quick. Hold on. Alright, so for example, this is a PlayStation 5 controller. This is a regular white controller. I obviously have a different variation of it, which is like the camo or some shit. That's like my personal favorite, but that's getting charged at the moment. But we're going to just use this as an example. So what we have is, the controls. Like, for example, this is the right trigger. You got right trigger 1, right trigger 2, so R1, R2. And then, of course, you have the left side. If I can get on the left side here. You have, like, the left trigger. You got left trigger 1, left trigger 2. In the original way that the controllers used to be back in the day, we wouldn't have, like, a pad like this. But now it's just, like, you have a pad, so you have some, like, you can press it like that, which was introduced in the PlayStation 4 time. So yeah, so the original PlayStation, and like even beyond that, it would just be just if it's like a controller like this, more or less, you just only have like these like triggers, the joystick, the directional pads, and maybe even just like a start button. But I think it was more or less like kind of like pause and play right here. And then of course you have the classic, if it ain't broke to fix, triangle, square, what was it? X, box, an X and a circle. Oh, no, cross. My bad. So cross, circle, blah blah blah. So it's the usual classic, you know, buttons. And what they all do is obviously they control what the person does. So, for example, if you want to run, it'll be just like, you press right trigger and then joystick and then the character moves. Or sometimes it just like moves on its own with just using just a joystick. You can do that. And depending on like how it goes, you can even like add little combinations. If let's say if it's like a fighting game, you can go boom boom or just boom 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 with the Dojo pad, boom, 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 or the joystick, boom, 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 boom. Do some tricks like that. Or in like the olden days of when like Mortal Kombat had fatalities, it'll just be like, you go like boom, 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 or do 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 boom, stuff like that. You know, coding. But yeah. What I'm trying to have you like at least understand is like a player one mentality is you are in control of your story. You basically pick up a controller, which is your body, your mind, your spirit, and you get to work. You get to experience life however you see fit. And whatever experience you have in life, you level up from that and you get better over time. So we'll probably use like a pretty good example. I guess we could either use Assassin's Creed or Ghost of Tsushima. Let's use Assassin's Creed. Or because like the older games you do progress in, but not like in level progression. It's more of a story progression. But it's more or less the same thing. Now we'll just use Ghost of Tsushima. Of course, we all know the story where it's just basically it's Jin Sakai, who is a samurai that goes through a lot of shit to go against the Mongols, and then over time he starts to lose honor because he starts to do dishonorable tactics to gain some type of advantage against the Mongols who were just ransacking Tsushima, and his method and all that stuff can work and also can sometimes bite him in the butt depending on the situation. And it is still a level of story progression, but it's like more or less like you can like level up however you can, whether that's the way that you like fight with a sword, whether that's I think like leveling up with your ghost stance or stealth, all that good stuff. And you do that through like of course experience by playing missions, killing a bunch of Mongols, or go on like really good side quests that can like help you get better. Heck, even like going on like legendary like side missions of getting like a certain armor, a certain bow, a fucking technique that you can use, and all that type of stuff. It's like a really big progression to become like the ghost. And even when it comes to like the progressing up to the ghost, there's like levels to it where it's just like you start off like oh, you're just like a noble samurai, and then as you like gain up, you start to become like a hero, and then hero, then like the last thing that you're the ghost, you're the ninja, you're like the badass prototype ninja that's out here just like doing some crazy shit, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, but all this to say, just in his story, he goes through a whole lot of like changes and stuff. And again, I'm only using Ghost of Tsushima because that's pretty much the only Ghost of game I played. I have not played Ghost of Yotei yet. I would like to, but I just simply do not got the time or I do have the money to get it, but I'm saving up for something bigger than that. But I will be playing the game after I'm finished up with Assassin's Creed Shadows and also other subsequent games. So it's going to take a while, but I will catch up to it whenever possible. But anyways, all that to say, player one mentality is basically, again, I want to iterate, you are in control of your story. You're in control of your destiny, and you're in control of the choices you make throughout your story. Whatever that is. Whatever that's good, bad, whatever the fuck. Player one mentality is all about being in control of the story you write, basically. So, I would say I've always more or less had this mindset since I was a child. And though I didn't quite understand exactly, I knew that, like, if I have like enough experience, I can, like, get better over time, especially when it comes to like playing games. Again, rest in peace to my big cousin Sean, but he was also the one that like taught me about like video games and stories and all types of things. And one thing I just like still like look back on is just like the way that he would like explain like story and like progression. It always like stuck with me because it's just like the more I learn about, how does this character do this or how does that, and then just like, apply that to like my own life and say, what if I can like take the aspects of that and then apply it to my own, or just like what if I try to like learn better or speak better or whatnot, because back then I was kind of a mute. And on top of that, I just didn't know how to speak at all. Or actually, I did, but it was just also because like I had a stuttering problem too, so it was like ugh. So I was mainly just very very mute, so you know like all types of stuff. But even with that, like, it got better over time when I got comfortable obviously speaking. And I would say like right now I think it has gone to a point where I'm able to somewhat make sense, but there's still like a lot of like working to make it, sound a little bit better. But hey, I'm only a human being, so that's a good thing about being human, is you learn and you get better over time, which is a beauty. So that's why, like, ever since I've been 25 for the past a month or so, because my birthday was in November 21st. Yeah, a lot has changed. Like, even my body moves a little bit differently. Like, though I am feeling much like I feel more energy now, and I have been taking care of my body and stuff, which like makes my appearance, my physical appearance, resemble someone of like, I guess like someone in their like early 20s or even younger than that. Because I get like a lot of people, saying like, "Oh, you look like you're 18," and I'm like, "What?" But I guess it just kind of makes sense because, like, again, I've been obviously taking care of my body, so yeah. And also with that also comes with some level of progression too, because when I was initially starting, I was bigger than I am now, and it sucked a lot of ass. And on top of that, I was both dealing with a breakup and the whole world shutting down because of a certain virus that, whether or not I feel comfortable even talking about, remains to be seen. COVID-19. Hopefully, YouTube doesn't fuck me in the ass about that, but you never know. YouTube nowadays sucks a little bit of ass. It likes to get pegged by new authoritarianism, but that's for another time. But yeah. What's it talking about? Oh yeah. Like, with my body, it changed, a lot. Because like initially I was already doing all right. Like, my body was, doing pretty okay, and I looked all right, man. Like, I had a nice body, kind of. I was still having some mental stuff going on here, but physically at the time before that pandemic situation happened, I was active. I was moving my body around, and I was feeling joyous. But then that happened, and then I got big, and it sucked ass because there was not much I could really done in that situation. And I was on top of that dealing with mental health issues Plus, my ex-girlfriend at the time breaking up with me, so a lot of problems was happening around that time. And on top of that, I cut my hair off. So right now my hair is more or less back. But yeah. I remember it was, I don't know if it was 2022. I think it was 2022. Yeah, it was. I took a class and it was for PE or whatnot, and it was obviously adult PE. So basically, just body weight and weight training, all that at one class. And I took it, and I remember it was week 3 of being part of the class, and that shit wake me the fuck up because like I used to do like body weight training when I was in karate, but then obviously again the whole pandemic happened, so I stopped doing that. But or at least like I wouldn't say like when it comes to like actual like karate fighting, I can still do that. I mean, hell, I think I can still do like a pretty good high kick. Let's see if I can move real quick. Right here. Oh, yeah, I can still do that. So yay, I can still do that. But yeah, I just think like for a while I just wasn't able to do a lot, and then a week 3 of being in the class, that shit woke me the fuck up in a lot of ways. I was pantsing, I was struggling a lot, and it was just like, wow, more than 7 or 8 years ago when I was really doing all that, I would just obviously I was still like struggle a bit, but I was like doing just fine when I wasn't like moving my body that whole entire time throughout the pandemic and subsequently afterwards the year after. Man, man, the reality check, bro, man. And then on top of that, when we were doing like the, what was it, like a 2-mile run or whatnot, I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, it definitely lit a fire up my ass to finally more or less get rid of the weight that I was like carrying from that point. And because it lit such a big fire up my ass that like afterwards, after it was all said and done, I devoted most of my time to try to like lose as much weight as possible to get back to where I was at. And here we are now. I think, what was it, like 3 years later, we're here. I'm more or less a lot leaner than I was. I'm not quite there to my actual goals of reaching 10 to 12% body fat, but I think I'm like at least maybe 15, maybe 14, because like previously I would have been like like probably 20 or 25% body fat, or even bigger than that. I think, I don't know, it's been a while since I've actually looked at myself from like a long time ago, but I know I was big and chubby back then. I was fucking big and chubby. Like right now, I think I'm just like, I think I feel much lighter, and I would say I'm not like skinnier because obviously my face isn't like cold, and my body isn't like so inwards. You can still see a little bit of, but it's a lot more better than where I was at previously, obviously. So yeah, that's another example of like player one mentality. Is just like I took control of the story that was being told me. Initially I was doing this and that, I was in school, but then that happened, and then afterwards, when week 3 of the PE class I had lit a fire in my ass, I dedicated my time and I controlled my destiny. I controlled my life to where I'm currently right now at the age of 25, still doing pretty good. And I would like to continue to level up as best as I can in the subsequent years, whether that's being 26, 27, 28, 29, however long I have on this earth. So we will see how that's going to go, and I hope that I can make it at least potentially up to either 70 or 90 years old. I generally don't know when that will happen, but All I will say is I'm just gonna have to keep on taking care of all of this body and then just learn as best as I can. Oh, currently right now I'm learning coding, so that's been pretty awesome. It's mainly to like help me become a better video game developer. So I'm doing pretty good with that. I want to also more or less get back to like playing guitar again. You know, get back into my creative spirit because like it has been a while since I've kind of been doing a lot of that because again I have a lot of things going on in my life, so it's just like sometimes I would like to do those things like I used to, but it's kind of like again I have a job, I have responsibility, I have a life, man, so it's like I gotta like take care of things, and that's pretty much what it is. But at the same time, you know you got to just stay consistent at it, and I think that's also what player one mentality is consistently on the grind, constantly getting better, and just improving yourself. Like that's one thing that being a gamer is like really cool, is like you get to level up in a lot of ways, like again, which goes to Tsushima, and even like any like MMORPG like League of Legend or fucking World of Warcraft, all that good stuff. It's like you level up and you gain experience through, grinding your ass off to like get to a certain point. Whereas like you're the strongest, character in the, story and shit. And then it's like when you apply that shit to real life, it's like you start off, yeah, you might suck and it's gonna suck a lot, but the more you keep at it, the more better you get. And it's just like, and just like that level up is just more like experience, like like let's say if it's just like if you're at work or whatnot, like maybe on your first job at work you suck a little bit, obviously I think I can also test to that, but the longer you stay in there and just like cultivate as best as you can like the skills that were at least more or less hopefully taught to you. I'm totally not throwing shades at my previous job, but they could have done better with the teaching, but what the fuck ever. I'm not even part of that shit no more. So, but yeah, just when that happens, where when you suck a little bit, but then you get better over time, and you get better and better and better. Whereas like, let's say if you're like a cashier, maybe like you're struggling to maybe like count exactly the money and stuff, and you may not quite get like this customer is ask for this and that, but the more you do it and the longer you stay at working at it, however x amount of jobs and x amount of time, you get better over time to where it's just like you start to cultivate the skills, and sometimes you might even be promoted to managerial level or even higher than that, and all this other cool stuff, and you can even like buy your own car, buy your own whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like there's like levels to this shit, like the leveling up system that we're used to as gamers, like again with like RPG and all that, more or less kind of applies to real life. Like the more you put in the work of doing anything, hell, even if it's content creation, you get better over time. It's just only a matter of time until the results speak for itself, that you are the shit. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully it makes sense with this like player one mentality. Again, this is coming from the the mind off the dome. You know what I'm saying? I don't really have like a script to structure this very well, but hopefully I'm able to like more or less clarify and also like explain the whole like player one mentality. But I think the best to summarize this is just you are in control of your life. Whatever input you put in, whether that's left trigger, right trigger, pressing triangle or moving around the joystick or whatever, just anything to like get that ass moving. Yes, get that ass moving. Like I don't care what it is, even if it's just like simply just like waking up from bed and just like making up your bed. that's one thing that you did that's like the easiest to complete. And then like the more you do that, and then like once you get to the harder quests and stuff, you start to level up and then level up, and then once you get to like the biggest ones that's gonna really test you, it's like you cultivate the skills that you have like learned from, you know, all the experiences that you like dealt with, and you get put to a really big test to see how well you're gonna handle like, you know, the chaos and the pressure, and to be able to like succeed in that, you gain more experience, and it's just like it's a good feeling, man. Like being player 1 is awesome, and also being player 2, player 3, player 4. Basically, it doesn't matter what it is. You are in control of your destiny, of your story, and how you want to tell it. Whether that's using an actual controller, like, you know, the PlayStation 5, or the, you know, in our case, you know, it's our mind, it's our body, it's our soul, it's everything that's, you know, makes us human beings, you know, unique and interesting. You know, we cultivate a lot of that to, you know, become better at situations, you know, like adapting to what's currently going on. And right now it's technology sometimes getting some type of upper hand, but not quite yet. Hopefully. Let's please not pull a Terminator. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. But anyways, I hope this makes sense. If you guys have any questions on this whole player 1 mentality, feel free to let me know in the comments down below, and I will do my best to you know, try to like explain a bit further on that. I think next time I'll if I do talk about this topic again, I'm gonna try to keep it as structured as possible, but I just want to just like let you guys know, just like off the, you know, literally off the mind and stuff, that, you know, player 1 is basically you're in control of your life. You're in control of the decisions you make. It doesn't matter what input you put, whether that's just, if I'm using another example that's not necessarily a controller, but like let's just say you just want to simply just lift your arm, you can just simply just do that. But yeah, I hope that makes sense. I know I'm repeating it all the time, but like I'm really hoping that I make some sense about like what I'm trying to, you know, what the message is trying to come across is you are in control of what the hell you do. Anyways, I think that's gonna have to be it for now. I gotta get ready to lay down. I think my mom is yelling at me. Not playing. She's talking to my brother. I am gonna go ahead and head out. I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, take care of a lot of things. I might probably read a book. We'll see. I think I'm just gonna just do something to like wind my brain down a bit, because sometimes I get overly stimulated by a lot of things, because I'm both autistic and I'm an introvert, so it's a really great cocktail of, yes, I like to have my alone time, and I also don't like to be overly fucking stimulated. So yeah, man, the light is not doing me justice, isn't it? Whatever. Anyways, this is your boy Jasmine21 saying out, and I will see you guys later. You know, it's been a while since I've. Anyways, I'll see you lovelies later. You guys have a good one. Stay peaceful, stay amazing, stay awesome. Most importantly, stay being classic. Stay learning. Level up as best as you can from level 1 to even level 2. Or if you want to really go for the long run, level 50 and level 100. And with that, you can do a lot of cool things. You can even have an amazing armor set. Maybe, you know, a way to attack your enemies. And on top of that, just, you know, have like cooler sets. I don't know. Maybe even a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Don't really matter. A partner. Maybe. A companion for life. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. You guys have a good one. There we go. Peace.